about to be joined by one of the most world-renowned holistic health heroes. His latest book, Super Genes, is pretty life-changing. So come on in, Mr. Deepak Chopra. Dr. Deepak Chopra. This integrative medicine, which you are, you're working in that field, explain to us what that actually means.
It means that every experience you have changes your biology. Every experience, which means not just emotional experiences, but food, sleep, even massage will change the activity of your genes. So your genes are not fixed. They can be shut on, shut off. Personal relationships, social interactions, any experience will modulate the activity of your genes, which ultimately structure your body. The most important thing is that we've learned in the last 15 years is that only 5% of disease-related gene mutations that cause disease, any disease, autoimmune illness, heart disease, cancer, only 5% are fully penetrant. So if somebody says, I have heart disease in my family, that means they have genes that predispose them, but you can change them with lifestyle. That's the ultimate message. 95% of your gene activity, including mutations for disease, are influenced by your lifestyle. How you think, how you behave, how you feel, how you socially interact, what you eat, do you get enough sleep, are you managing your stress, all that influences 95% of mutations.
You believe that even in dire circumstances or with a not particularly great genetic picture that you're born into, you have an ability to transform that?
The fixed genetic inheritance is a myth. But yes, there are tendencies. If your parents and your ancestors were warriors, then you're likely to be more warrior-like, particularly also because that's your environment. But there's enough evidence to show that how you live your life is more important than what you got from your parents. Here's the future. It's predictable, it's preventable, it's personalized. So this is early research, but I can tell you that the era has come where people will be talking about reversal of disease. Until now, they weren't. If you said, I can cure you, then you were a charlatan.
Meditation's a really old, ancient thing. In your book, you talk about using success as the driver for people to not only start meditating, but to stick with it.
So success is the ability to love and have compassion, but most importantly, it is the ability to get in touch with your inner being, which is a place of love, joy, equanimity.
Is that really what you're talking about then, tuning in to the soul? And I've had a lot of people ask me when they knew that we were together today, what is our soul and how do we get in there?
That's where inspiration comes in. Unlike motivation, which is mental, inspiration is, as the word implies, in spirit. So are you able to get in touch with your core being? Not your mind, not your emotions, but your core consciousness, which is where your thoughts come from. But in between the thoughts is a space of awareness where there is only consciousness, which spiritual traditions call the soul or the spirit. So some people have this experience when they fall deeply in love, or some people have this experience when they see a newborn baby with profound poetry or music. These are called peak experiences or flow experiences, joyful experiences. And if you persist in meditation, you will have this experience as well. But meditation is not the only way to get there. We should not talk about mind-body connection at all these days. We should use the word mind-body as a single word.
So can you not sort of work with governments at that sort of level to try?
We are.
The younger
Actually,
we know,
in the United
better.
States, it's called social emotional intelligence. And it comes under the umbrella of mindfulness. So many companies, in the US anyway, are focused on 5 areas of well-being. Career well-being, are you happy at your job? Social well-being, do you have a network of family and friends that care about you and you care about them? Physical well-being, of course, do you have enough energy to get all the things you want to get done and you're free of disease? Community well-being and financial well-being, they're all connected.
And so that balance is important. And do you think sometimes something can be more readily available and something maybe not? And then the next week you might have more money, but less. You might do less meditation, so you're more financially able. You know, can we embrace that elasticity rather than feeling we have to be balanced all the time? Because that's
in
impossible.
order of importance, career well-being is number one. So you should be in a work environment where you complement the strengths of others and they complement you, where we have a common vision, a goal for your company or your work environment.
Is it really?
Yes, according to statistics.
More than family, I suppose, because much
Social
time spent.
well-being is number 2.
Yeah.
Financial well-being is number 3. Physical well-being is number 4. And community well-being is number 5 in that sequence. It's just because that's how much time we spend at work.
Is that an American, or was
that's
it a more
a Gallup
global?
poll that comes from the entire world. It's the context and what meaning you derive from what your life is. So it's not exactly what you're doing, but the meaning that you derive from what you're doing. That's even more important than what you're doing. You know, all we have is the present moment. And if you're constantly thinking about the future, when it finally arrives, you won't be present for it. So what's the point?
Yeah, I have friends and family that you look forward to something, and when you get there and you're at that thing you look forward to, they're sort of talking about the next thing to look forward to. We're really guilty of doing that. Why do we do it? Is it just habit?
It's the hypnosis of social conditioning. It's how we are trained to think in society.
But if you're living in a city like London, which is very hard to be, not play the game and not get carried away, what would you advise us to do if we want to stay here and we like being busy, we like being in London, but how do we take the edge off?
If you're in touch with your inner being, it doesn't matter where you live. The world is a reflection of who you are in every moment. Social scientists have come up with what they call the happiness formula. Do you want to know what it is?
Yes, please.
H is equal to S plus C plus V. H stands for happiness. Is equal to S. S, the set point in your brain for happiness. So this set point in your brain is your childhood conditioning. So if you were surrounded by people, particularly parents, who were constantly complaining, criticizing, condemning, playing the victim, then your brain mirrors their neurons and you grow up with a set point like that. The second part of the formula, H is equal to S plus C, is conditions of living. That's actually financial conditions of living. And then the third part of the formula, H is equal to S plus C plus V, the voluntary choices we make every day. So there are 2 kinds of choices we make every day. One is for personal pleasure. Guess what the number 1 choice people make for personal pleasure every day?
Sex?
It's shopping. You should know. You're in this place. Okay, so there are 2 kinds of choices that people make. One is for personal pleasure, which includes shopping, sex, alcohol, food, entertainment. Do these choices make us happy? Yes, they do, but only for a little while. The second kind of choice people make is what is called fulfillment. You get fulfilled when you make other people happy. In fact, the fastest way to be happy is to make someone else happy. So that's the happiness formula.
The other wonderful thing about your teachings and your books is that you're not a big advocate of sort of the cold turkey or the extreme, are you? It's about the daily changes and the little things you can change.
Now, I'm an advocate of only one thing: take it easy.
Okay, take it easy.
That's it.
So we can take away from today.
That should
take
be
it
our
easy.
epitaph. Easy come, easy go.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yes, Deepak, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. Really, really grateful. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.